Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites from Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. My name is David Tide, the Managing Director of Bauer Media, and each week we take a look at a subject that we believe is worth a discussion. And this week, I'm really pleased to welcome our guest. It's Beverley Brown, and she is the Marketing Manager for James Brown and Sons. Beverley, welcome to Business Bites.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to welcome you here. I think you are the first representative we've had on from a funeral directors in 3 years of doing Business Bites. And you know what? Maybe we should have come to this subject sooner than we have, because this whole area is taboo for lots of people. People, I think, struggle to talk about the subject that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about death, and especially around young people. And their experiences of death of perhaps parents. So, Beverley, just talk us a little bit about, obviously in your job, you have to navigate this sometimes difficult subject. So just tell us a little bit about that and the challenges that you have talking about this subject.
Yeah, I don't think, David, that anybody really wants to think too much about their own mortality. And, grief is a really complex journey to navigate. And I think particularly when you had mentioned young people, for young people, it can be extremely complex and really very isolating for them. So it's important that there are tools out there for them to access that could maybe help them have those difficult conversations with other people, and to help other people have conversations with them.
Yeah, there are plenty of partnerships and places that can help. So you're entering into a partnership at the minute. Tell us a little bit about how did this come about, and then what is that partnership?
Yes, so I've had a long-standing relationship with Crow's Bereavement Support in Northern Ireland. And whenever we were reflecting on the services that James Brown and Sons have available to support clients, it became evident to me that we didn't really have anything to support young people who'd been bereaved. And I think the statistics, there's four young people in Northern Ireland today face the death of a parent, and that's not to mention the young people facing the death of a friend or a grandparent. So it was really important to me that we provided something to be able to support young people. But we didn't have the resource available to produce the material or the expertise. So we are not young people. So so I had a conversation with the Eleanor who I work with in Cruise, and they were willing to come on board and help us develop the material.
Yeah, it's a very hard one because it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, because I think this subject affects everybody differently. So have you managed to navigate the differences in the way that people react to a tragic life event like this?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something I learned from the group of young people that produced the video content for us, that everybody's journey is different. And just because you're feeling a certain way at a certain point in time after the death of somebody doesn't make that any less valid than somebody else who's feeling differently. And that's really important, that people understand that it's okay to be where you are, and that's individual to you.
Yeah, there's obviously a number of stages as well of the grieving process. Tell me about what you learned about the different stages and triggers that can bring these feelings back.
Obviously, as somebody at the point in time somebody dies, there's a lot of shock, and anger, potentially anger, and just distress, and actually beginning to understand that person you'd had a relationship with is no longer there to talk to see every day as you maybe did. So and then I think people, I suppose in Northern Ireland context, the funeral happens so quickly that people maybe don't really have time to even begin to comprehend what has happened to them. And then from there, it's, as I said, it's really dependent on what that individual is going through. Like birthdays, anniversaries, first Christmas, all of those things, going back to school, going back to college. People don't know what to say. People avoid them, don't want to talk about it because they don't they just don't know what to say or how to deal with the person. And all of those things can really have a big impact on any young people or young person's grief journey.
So you've, with Cruise, you've developed a series of videos to look at this. Tell us about the videos and where can people find them?
Yeah, so the videos were created by the young people. So Cruise have a group of young people who've all been bereaved, called the Youth Advisory Group. And I met with those young people and had a chat with them about what they thought was important, because this wasn't about adults telling young people how they should feel. This was about young people sharing their personal experiences. And they came up with the topics for the video that they, from their own personal experience, what would have been helpful for them to know a little bit more about. The videos are all available on our website, jamesbrownfuneraldirectors.com, and they're freely available to anybody. And that was also really important to me, that it wasn't just people coming to use our services, but that would reach a wider audience. And I actually had an email from one of our team this morning to tell me that a minister had contacted her to say that it watched them having had a young person had faced bereavement recently. So I just find that extremely encouraging that people are actually using the resource, and it has been helpful to people.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do, and hopefully, well, it will without a doubt make a difference. And we're happy to give it a platform and hopefully some publicity to direct more people to this. I think it's also important, perhaps, and you might just give us your view on this, to be an ally to young people as well. So whilst if we're older, we are not that person, but we are surrounded by younger people. So is there any resource on there about how to advise and how to deal with a young person who you may know, or maybe an extended family member?
Yeah, so one of the topics of the videos is actually about how to be a grief ally. And I know that friends of mine, her mum died whenever she was young, and one of the hardest things she found was that people that she thought were really good friends just didn't have any contact with her, that she never heard from them. I think she was 16 whenever her mum died, and I suspect it was because her friends didn't know what to say. So it's okay to say nothing. It's okay just to give somebody a hug, but don't not be there. Just show up. And I mean, that was a loud and clear message for the young people about showing up. And if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. If they want to come out with you, fine. If they don't, some people want to be around people and other people want to be on their own. And both of those feelings are valid for that person. So it's about picking up the phone and saying hello, or keeping inviting them out. And they'll appreciate that, but don't just ignore them.
Great advice, Beverley, and thank you for working to try and put these videos on your website, jamesbrownfuneraldirectors.com. I think it's also important to mention as well that if you are experiencing trauma from a bereavement, that Cruise are an organisation that can help, and they're at cruise.org.uk. And also we're going to put the number of the Samaritans up on the screen now if you want to call them. They're available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Beverley, thank you so much for being our guest this week and telling us all about this valuable addition to life, and on a subject, as I said, that we don't normally talk about. It has been an enlightening discussion. Thank you.